Hi, welcome to the Driving Instructor Masterclass, brought to you by Marmalade Insurance and myself, Chris Benstead. I've been a driving instructor for over 12 years and we're going to have a look at elements of driving, things that you'll need to know for your driving tests, looking at things like stalling, manoeuvres and how to deal with other situations. And to make sure that you're keeping up with the series, subscribe to Marmalade's YouTube channel so that you'll get all of the installations as they're released. So this episode we're going to be having a look at mirrors and observations, which mirrors you should be checking when, how to make sure that you're looking in the right place at the right time, and where your risks are likely to be so that you can keep yourself as safe as possible. We're going to go and have a look at how to adjust those mirrors and make the best use of them when you're driving. One of the vital pieces of equipment in the car are the mirrors. They allow us to see what's happening around us and cover some of the areas that we can't see when we're facing straight ahead. So there's two different types of mirrors. You have your interior mirror. It's a flat glass that faces straight out the back and gives you a true image of what's happening behind you. And then you have your door mirrors, which are a convex mirror and make things look smaller and further away, so distort that image, which is important to remember when you're doing things like overtaking. So the big question is, when should you use your mirrors? This answers a lot of the other questions as to when you need to be checking them when you're on your driving test or just during a general drive. So the rear view mirror is your change of speed mirror. Your change of speed mirror would be any time you're speeding up or slowing down, or when you're changing roads. So you're going into a new road, you want to check what's happening behind you. So if your actions might affect that person behind, or the person behind might affect your actions, that's when you want to be checking that mirror. When it comes to the door mirrors, also known as wing mirrors, although they're attached to the door, these are for when you're changing direction. So if you were turning left, you would need to check that left mirror to check that space is clear to turn into. If you're turning right, then you'd need to check that right mirror before turning. The common things that might be appearing on your left-hand side would be cyclists and pedestrians, and on your right-hand side, motorbikes and cars. But we're always looking for the unexpected as well. So let's have a look at how we're going to use those mirrors while we're driving. So as we approach the junction, we're going to be checking the rear view for anybody that may be behind as we're slowing down, and then checking our left mirror because we're turning left, indicating to turn left to tell people what we're doing, and then our focus can be out the front of the car looking at the junction to make sure it's safe. Once we come out to the new road, we're checking that rear view again to see who might be following and what effect it might have on our drive. If someone's coming towards you from in front, we'd be checking the rear view mirror in advance of that because we're going to be slowing down. So if we're going to be turning right into a side road, we need to be checking our rear view mirror as we approach or are looking for that side road, and then checking our right mirror before indicating to make sure that people know that we're turning in and to check that it's safe to do so. A last second check if there's been any delay, just to make sure there aren't any motorbikes coming along, and then a rear view mirror check in the new road. So we'll now have a look at turning right, which is the same pattern but using the right hand side. As we're approaching the junction, we're checking our rear view mirror to make sure that we know what's happening behind us, and our right mirror to check it's safe to turn. Once we've checked those mirrors, applying that signal, really important to keep that order. That's your look, tell, and then do. Bringing yourself round and following the road along. Checking that rear view to see what's happening behind you while you cast your eyes ahead to see what's happening in front. And when turning left into a side road, checking the centre mirror and the left mirror, then the signal, and then turning round with a last second check into that door mirror. When you're faced with a situation with a car coming towards you, making sure before you pull out, checking that right mirror, and even a quick shoulder check just to make sure that it's safe. That rear view mirror once you're on the main road again. It's important to remember that the mirrors don't cover everything. You also need to check your blind spots when moving away from the curb or the side of the road So the blind spot is the section that the mirror doesn't cover. Having a look over your shoulder is going to check that there's nothing there. If you were on the right hand side of the road, you'd be checking the blind spot on the other side, because that's the space you're pulling into. So when using mirrors and performing observations, you're checking that space around you to see if you or somebody else is going to be sharing that space before you make the manoeuvre. Mirror, signal, manoeuvre, or look, tell, do. So the key things to remember are change of speed mirror, change of direction mirrors, and that the mirrors don't cover everything. You may need to turn to check those blind spots. Keep doing that all the way through your test and through your driving. You'll know what's happening around you and you'll be able to keep yourself safe.